Hello, Brittany Parker. Today we're going to do a very basic Seint for beginners. I remember when I started, it could be intimidating, right? There's these tins and these tiles and this paint by number system, and you're like, what goes where? So today I'm just going to show you how I put my makeup on, talk you through it, but it's going to be a very basic beginner application and just show you how I do it. When I first started, I completely watched these videos over and over and over. I even took notes, put it in step-by-step order, and that's how I did it. So if you have to do the same, no worries. There's no shame. We all do it, but let's get started. So this is Seint. It is a 3D cream foundation system that comes in these really adorable magnetic palettes. Now, I have the big guy. This is a 27. There's 3 different layers, but you can go as small. Look how little this guy is. This is where I used to have some of my demi, but I added my most common colors into my palette because I always kind of want to be ready. But there's the 8, the 12, the 18. Look how cute this one is. So really it's what you want, what works for your lifestyle and your needs. You grab these little tiles and they look so little. Look at that color. They're tiny, but mighty. Okay, so you just pop it out, pop it in, and it's ready to go. Save one of these because when you want to move them around, I can't tell you how many times I put my finger in one. You just take the little lid and you can kind of shimmy it in there and pop it out. So keep a lid. Let's get started. So when I very first started, I believe I started with one brush, the blush and bronzer, because I like to save money. And when you buy this, you get it in the bronzer collection and you save 11 bucks. But I'm going to use 2 today. These are my very favorite 2. They're like the best team of all. So here we go. This is the detail brush and I'm going to start in my contour. Now you don't want swiping. Less is more. These are so little. When I mean they're tiny but mighty, the pigment percentage is so much higher than all the liquid and powder foundations. This is pure cream and it is so much more darker. So little less is more, and you're just gonna go and tap it and get it on the brush. Now your contour is cool and it's more ashy and it's mimicking the shadows that we naturally have on our face. And so you can create dimension on your face by using contour. So contour seems super intimidating at first. And let's just say I got one of the very darkest colors. And when I first started, I was like, no way. And I chose a lighter one. This darker one's my favorite because you need less. Because it is darker, less is more. And you just kind of stipple it on there. You're not swiping and swirling. You're pressing it into your skin and it helps your skin warmth, helps to melt it. So tap right back in there. Now your cheekbones, this is where it goes, like the top of where your ear is. You start at the back and you just kind of bring it to the center of your face. And you're just kissing the bottom of that cheekbone right there and keeping it kind of hugged right there, okay? You're not gonna bring it in then the outside of your eye. If you do, it's okay. These are creams, there's no mistake. And I kind of like to blend as I go. I prefer this method, like using my brush and the creams, more than the dot method by dotting it on my face. But a lot of people might like the dotting method. I just think this blends out better. So tap, tap, tap. The top right here, and you could feel it right there with that brush. And you could feel the bottom of that cheekbone. So I start at the top and I'm just stippling and bouncing it in, not coming in, then the further of the outside of my eye. And I kind of blend as I go. And it's really that easy. You can bring it to the bottom of your jaw if you need, if you have some extra chins and want to kind of chisel that out or some extra skin there. And you're just going to kind of bring it in the front of the ear and along that jaw. You don't want it up here, but right there on the bottom because we're creating shadow. We naturally have the shadow below our chin, down our neck, and we're just mimicking all those things that we naturally already have on our face. Okay, I have a lot of discoloration on my nose. So I'm gonna take the small side of my detail brush and go into my main highlight, which is what we think of as our foundation color. And I'm just tapping the smallest bit of product on there. I'm probably gonna have to color correct after, or at least kind of get it again. But I just wanna start with a little bit of coverage. If you have a lot of redness or extra hyperpigmentation, you can do a small layer or a light layer of your main just to kind of help to color correct it. But There we go. So I like the shape of this brush. This is the detail brush. Why? Is because I could tap it just on the side and just stamp it on your nose. We're just contouring our nose. It's nothing like crazy or technical. Just make sure you keep it more on the top side of your nose and way out on the side, because you're gonna make your nose actually look wider. So I just tap, flip it over, and I'm just stamping that on and kind of going into the brow, underneath my nose. But it doesn't have to be anything. If you do want to skip this, go ahead and skip it. I'm gonna use my finger and pop just a little bit underneath my lip. It just gives an illusion of a powder lip. There's your contour. So it's nothing dark and nothing crazy. It's gonna blend out. And now that I start with the contour because it is a little bit more of a different consistency than the highlights. The highlights are much more creamier. The contour is a little bit more stiffer. But you don't want your like shadows to like be moving down on your face throughout the day. You don't want like a 5 o'clock shadow, you know what I mean? So I kind of like that it's a little bit more stiffer, but I put it on first to let it kind of warm up before I go and blend everything out. So I am now going to go into my main highlight. My main highlight is what you think of as your foundation. So this is the blush and bronzer brush. I'm going to go in with the bunny tail side. And same thing, I'm just gonna tap it into that color, no swiping. Now, I have this perfect little spot right here, right below the contour. Seint is one layer. One layer, less is more. You do not need tons of product. And so if you first get this and you're like, I am so shiny, I am so tacky, first, there could be an adjustment period as your face adjust to creams, which are super hydrating. If you've been using like liquid or powder foundation that like your skin is like so suffocated, there's like a 2-week adjustment period. But if you're still super shiny and super tacky, you're just using too much. Less is more. Our skin's beautiful. Let your skin shine through, you know? We're not here to wear masks again. I'm done with that. But just tap it wherever you need cover. So I did not go where my contour is. I went along my beard. I put a little bit on my chin, not a lot. And I started here putting most of the product here and then bring it to the center of my face. I do bring it a little bit up on my cheeks, and then I'll bring a little bit below the contour on my forehead. Okay, so I left my T-zone open. I left underneath my eyes open, and that's where I'm gonna go back to the detail brush to the small end. And I'm gonna tap into my brightening shade. Your brightening shade is your concealer. Okay, so it's gonna brighten the center of your face. So this little fat part of your chin, your Cupid's bow, your T-zone right here in between your brows. And I always just kind of flick it up. And I'm actually just gonna use my finger for down the nose. So right in between where that contour is. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna bring a little bit, like I'm just barely tapping, just barely here, the inner corner, the outer corner. And then I have a lot of discoloration on my eyelids, so I don't get any more product, just whatever's on there. I just wash it over and look, seriously, look at all that redness gone. And I didn't even get any more product. So as I'm here, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Might as well just kind of start merging those. But there you go. A lot brighter, right? Hello. So the inner corner, especially if you're a little bit more mature, tap it in this harder spot right here. We have less wrinkles. You could just do a little bit there, a little bit here, and then whatever's left on your brush. Now, because I'm putting it on my eyelids, it's going to prime my eyelids for my eyeshadow. So it's like a 2-in-1. It's going to give it one flat base. So whatever eyeshadows I do wear, those colors will pop a whole lot better. So if you want, you could bring it to the sides of your nose. All right. That's it. This is what 3D cream foundation is. Your contour, my mane that matches my foundation or my skin tone the best, and my brightener just to give me some life. I'm like the momsy. I have 9 days of school left. Oh, 9 days. I teach first grade, so I'm very excited for the summer. Okay, so I start in my highlight area. I went back to the blush and bronzer brush and I go back to the bunny tail side and I just stipple. So I'm not these big, huge swirls. If I just went and swirled this, the contour that I placed like strategically on my face, it's just gonna go and blend into one flat color. That's what's so hard about creams, or not creams, but liquids and powders. You're putting one flat color on your face and then having to build up the colors, and it's really just way too much makeup. Seint is so much less, but still creates tons of dimension on your face, more dimension than the other kind of old school makeup systems, just because we're putting less, but we're like putting the right colors in the right spots that go with our skin tone. So if you are interested, like the pictures online look a lot, even like the tins, I showed you that one, they might look like there's no way you're going to put that on your face. That looks way too dark. It's just because it is so pigmented in the tin. But when you go to start blending them out, they just work and blend so well. But it is important to have the right match. If you go too light, every wrinkle, every fine line, every pore is gonna stand out. Nobody wants that, right? But then we also don't wanna look like we're wearing a mask, so we have too dark of colors. So if you're interested, send me a bare-faced selfie and I'll send a email back with all the recommendations. Might be intimidating, but you pick like what is in your budget, what you want. And then when you're ready to add more, you just go back to that email and you're ready to go. Okay, so here is my 3D cream foundation. This is my contour, my 2 highlights. Now, if you blend, it's really easy to over blend, especially in the beginning. Guess what? These are buildable creams. So if I want a little bit more definition on my forehead, because I like it, I could just go and build the color up. They're buildable. All of these are foundational coverage. The highlights, my brightening, my mane, my contour. I'm just gonna stipple like that. Now, if you have any like blemishes or anything, I'm gonna hit those up at the very end. Okay, but there we go. Okay, so that is contour, my 2 highlights, and now I'm gonna go into Bella Bronzer. You can see that they're both brown, obviously, but this is a cool brown. This is your contour. Bella Bronzer is warm and golden, and it's just gonna warm up my skin. So once again, my blush and bronzer brush, I'm just tapping into that bronzer, and it's gonna go a little bit below where I put the contour. Now, I totally could have put this on before I blended everything out, but it's just like, I like to do like my 3D foundation first, and then I'll add my extras. But this is just, Bella Bronzer is a lot more sheer. It does not have like foundational coverage like the other highlights do, but it gives you just the nicest, prettiest, warmest glow, like you've been sitting on a beach for a week. And all year long, it is a staple in my palette, all year long. Okay, tap it on the tops of your cheeks. And you could go as crazy as you want. This is also buildable. So top of your cheeks, below your forehead. But if you really want, like you need less product on your forehead or your cheeks because you are more mature, you could totally dot it out and make sure that you have just a complete 1 layer. But I'm not putting that much on. I'm gonna tap my finger into my Athens, which is my main highlight. And I'm just tapping it onto that nose. Remember how I have that really a lot of discoloration right there on my bridge of my nose? And I'm just gonna tap that on because it's driving me nuts. I'm also gonna tap it over on this guy. But you can see how it just kind of like makes those blemishes. They're not going away. The texture is still there. I'm not getting rid of texture. Makeup is makeup. It's not magic. It's not gonna take away my wrinkles, my fine lines, or fun, pretty blemishes that I have. But it could help, you know, hide them. Help get rid of them a bit. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna go into my blush now. So you can see though, like just what a youthful glow that my skin is just, it's shining. It's shining. I love it. So this is, I'm just gonna use Wildflower today. It is beautiful. So this is the, blush and bronzer brush again. I'm just gonna tap into it and just tap. I got into plum right now. We're going with plum today, people. I wasn't paying attention, got into plum. You know what? Plum is beautiful. Plum is beautiful. It is beautiful. All right, so there's plum. Let's see if we can even that out though. Okay, so you can see that I'll tap the color onto my cheeks and I go up. It gives me a lifted look on my face, especially if you have a more round face. Definitely go on this angled. If you have a really skinny face and you want a rounder, or you're more mature and need to bring fullness into your cheeks, bring it more into the apple of your cheek. But if you're trying just to kind of give yourself a lift, then go up with the blush. Okay, so that was plum. That was plum. I will go into this color though, just the pink, and tap it just on the apples of my cheeks a little bit more, just to kind of brighten it up. Kind of wearing a bright color. But that's what's kind of really cool about like creams. They blend and work together, and you can kind of make whatever color that you're going for. But look how cute. Just a cute color. All right. That's it. Okay. So one awesome thing about Seint is it's super versatile. So this is my multitasker brush. I'm going to go into the contour. It can do my brows. Now, I'm not somebody who's going to spend like 5 minutes on my brows. I'm going to spend about 15 seconds on my brows. But you could be that person. But I just kind of fill them in. I really like the more just natural kind of look. But I kind of like it that because I have that color on my face, it kind of just makes everything on my face work together. I really just need to get my brows waxed. All right, I'm going to flip my brush over. Actually, no, I'm going to get the line brush. Any spoolie that you have obviously would work. Just kind of brush that out. But, I mean, not bad. Like I said, 15 seconds. All right, back to the multitasker brush. Tap into it. Now, this is still my contour. It's now going to be my lip liner. Okay, so after I line it, I just kind of tap it in, and I'm going to go back into that pink. I'm actually going to go into Summer Love. This is the brush I used for my brightening highlight. I didn't grab any more, but you could just kind of clean it up a little bit if you need to. Not bad. Okay, I'm gonna finish up with just some powder. This is our Vanilla Dust, is a finely pressed powder, and I just tap into it, and I'm gonna come on the outside, and I only put it on my highlight areas. This is an extra. If you don't even want to get your whole face, you don't need to. If you're oily, you probably are gonna need to, just like any other makeup system. But creams don't set on their own. That's what's like the beauty of them. They move with your face. So I'll just come in and just get these spots, my bright areas. I'll get my under eyes. And I always do, because we put that brightener on our lid, we do need to tap and set it. That way our eyeshadows will blend a whole lot better, and it's gonna help so that the creams that we put on our lids don't crease. I'll bring it on just the center of my forehead. Now, wherever I have that the discoloration on my nose, especially if you wear sunglasses during the summer, tap it along that bridge. All right, well, that's it though. Okay, you know what I love? I love me some illuminator. So I'm gonna go into rose gold. You can see, look at that. I've hit pan and I love that. I'm just gonna use my finger for it, and I'm just gonna tap it. And it just gives you that extra little glow, but I just tap it right on my cheeks and I kind of bring it into kind of a C here. You just tap it up. But this can go even on your lips. You could pop it on your nose. bridge of your nose. You could pop it like your underneath your brow, your inner eye. Like it can go a lot of different places. But that was rose gold. All right, let's do a very basic little eye look. I'm just gonna put 2 colors. So this is my cleaning tile. I use it all the time. I'm just gonna go into 2 colors. I'm gonna go into Mama and just kind of do a wash on my lid. And bring it up to my brow a bit. Uh-oh, I hear crying children. Same thing, a wash on my lid, bring it up. If you hold the brush back further, you can get a better blend. But you can see this is just like one of those very basic but super essential colors. All right, so there's Mama. Gonna bring it on my lower lash line. All right, and then I'm just gonna go into basic. Tap, tap, tap. I'm just going to focus this just on the outside. Just a really neutral eye. If you have more mature eyes, make sure you press that eyeshadow in instead of like swirling. And you just kind of keep building up that color, pressing it in. You could bring it on your lower lash line, just not as far, maybe about a third way in. And that's it. All right, let me add a little mascara and I'll be back. Okay, that's it. I lied. I added some eyeliner, but a very basic tutorial on Seint. Nothing fancy. I didn't even use any color correcting. You just use your contour, your highlights. I had a little bit of a bronzer, a lip and cheek, a little bit of an illuminator, and some eyeshadows. Last step always is I always set with a setting spray. This one's by far my favorite. Charlotte Tilbury one, it's Airbrush Flawless. It's fantastic. It smells so good. If you have mature skin or dry skin, Seint's setting spray is good. And if you have oily skin, the Urban Decay one is really fantastic. But this one by far is my favorite. So you just spray your whole face. Let it set, and you're ready to go. If you have any questions, ask them below. If you are interested in getting your own 3D cream foundation and you want to be matched, send me a bare face selfie. If you want to do what I do and you want to join my team, let me know, message me, and I hope you have a great day. And thank you for watching. Bye.